Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's broadcast. I'm Dean Saracini.
I'm Brady Organt.
We are here to bring you today's varsity soccer matchup between Calvert Hall Cardinals and the Mount St. Joe Gales.
Start the clock. You can start. Okay, start.
Calvert Hall kicks off.
Got it. Thanks.
Stroud plays it on, but Calvert Hall quick to get the foot onto it and clear it up. Calvert Hall comes into this match 7-5-1, coming off a win on Wednesday, a big one, 1-0 against Gilman. Ben Bender scored that goal. MSJ coming in this one 5-8-1. They are currently in the 6th position in the final seed for the playoffs, Dean, and they definitely have some added motivation here, as does Calvert Hall though. Calvert Hall right now 4th seed. They're looking to hold on to that. We know the top 4 seeds have home field advantage at least for one game. So
still a few big matchups coming up. I know we have Curly, I believe, next week.
Yeah, Curly's right beneath us right now. We have a game in hand. They're 7-6 now, but if we can beat them, that'll surely put the race away and give us a home field advantage. One more game at Carlo Crispino Stadium.
And of course, tomorrow Calvert Hall plays Delaney High School. It is not an MIAA matchup, and we will not be live streaming it, unfortunately. But we encourage you all to come out and enjoy the game. It'll be senior night for all the senior soccer players.
Definitely, yeah. It's gonna be a good game. We have a lot of guys on here who have been with the program all 4 years. We have some guys who joined last year, but all of these seniors have put everything into this, and it'll be amazing for everyone to come out, give them some support. This will be their last regular season home game at Carlo Crispino Stadium. It's gonna be a good night.
As the ball goes up for a goal kick, here's Calvert Hall's starting lineup for today. Pretty similar to the game on Monday. Spencer Nattens remains in goal. The back line remains the same with Dom Corona and Andy Christ on the outside, and Clay McComas and Camden Oren, man in the middle. Playing in defensive midfield, we have James Garfink, along with Ben Bender playing center mid role. On the right side, we also have Andrew Guidi and Luke Ferrer-Reese. On the left, we have Chris Link and Sean Barwick. Dylan Burst. Sean Barwick's still out with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, we'd love to have him back. You almost put him into the lineup yourself. Andy Christ now running up the wing. He plays it on the Link. Link crosses this one out. It finds Luke Ferrer-Reese, sorry, but it's cleared out by MSJ, Camden Owen to put it back in. Now Dom Corona plays on to Luke Ferrer-Reese. Here's Taekwon Stroud. He plays on to Van Danielson, but just a little bit too far ahead, and it'll be a Calvert Hall throw-in.
As Calvert Hall gets ready to throw the ball in, here's Mount St. Joe's starting lineup for today. Sean Thompson, Van Danielson, and Dylan Chung are going to be out there, along with Taekwon Stroud, Owen Anglin, Miles Lamb, Alex Krabs, and Zach Whelan. And then Casey McKenna and Ashton Carey will be out there for Mount St. Joe today.
Calvert Hall does well to draw a foul, about 40 yards out. Looks like Ben Bender will take this one with his left foot. You got 6 Calvert Hall players lining up on the 18. This one gets in there, but it's headed out by number 12, Zach Whelan. So it'll be a Calvert Hall throw-in. Camden Owen to take. Luke Ferrer-Reese checks on the line. Not available. He gets to Dylan Burst. Dylan Burst right back to Cam. Camden Owen is dispossessed though. And now Van Danielson on the break for MSJ. Dom Corona and Clay McComas tracking. Dom gets a foot on it, but not enough. Clay draws a foul. I don't know if that was
an obstruction call. He fell down into the defender trying to knock McComas out of the way and leave the box open for a shot from Mount St. Joe.
Very good recovery from Calverall there with Clay McComas and Dom Corona running back. And Dom not enough to stop Van Danielson, but then that's why you have the second guy there, Clay McComas, to just finish the job, get the ball away from him. Spencer Nattens now will take the free kick. This one gets across the midfield line, but it's headed back by MSJ, and now Van Danielson will take it up. He plays on the Taekwon Stroud. Taekwon tries to find Welland, but not enough. Guidi
Intercepts the ball.
Now here's Link. Lucky to find Bender. Back to Bender again. He was setting up for that left-footed shot of his, but it just got away a little bit too far. Cleared up by MSJ. Calverall throw.
Perfect move right there from Bender. There's a little bit too much power on the interception, and he just had that ball a little bit shorter when he would have been able to get a shot off into the far corner.
Dylan Barish not really sure to where to play it there. He intended for Dom Corona, but it was cleared out by MSJ. Now Calverall will try to go at it again. Andy Christ to Chris Link. Chris Link now. He plays it in. Luke has a chance. Hits the post. And it just won't go in. Unlucky for Calverall there. Great ball from Chris Link. It was a good job to find. It was such a good ball. I think Lou Furries was a little bit surprised. And now on the other end, Van Danielson with the chance. He gets around Spencer Nattens, but the angle was not there. And it was on his unpreferred left foot there. And it just soars wide and left.
Both teams really just trying to find their way through the defense. Most teams usually take the first 10-15 minutes, pass the ball around, keep possession, see what they can find, see what weaknesses they can find in the other team's defense. But both teams seem to go right at each other right now.
Yeah, I think compared to a normal MIAA game, this is definitely a more action-packed kind of start to a game. And as I was saying, Luke Furries was so surprised by that ball from Chris Link, it just came out of nowhere, and it seems like that kind of theme of play has been in this game for the first 7 minutes or so.
Yeah, again, I think Mount St. Joe was really just focused on this game, especially. I've been here since the game at Mount St. Joe last month, in which Calvert Hall won in overtime on an Andrew Guidi goal. So I think Mount St. Joe just wants to bounce back with a win here and make the series 1-1. Apologies, it was Barwick's goal in overtime at Mount St. Joe.
Here's Dom Corona. Outside of the foot, plays it on to Guidi. Guidi now has a chance to cross. He will. This one floats above the goalie. It finds Link on the end, but no one in the middle to tap it in. Great piece of play there, and this one still is in play.
Another great move by Link there. Instead of trying to head that ball into the goal when it's on the far post, which he easily could have done, but it would have been blocked by the keeper who was covering it, he heads it right back across the middle for anyone to just come and tap it in.
Yeah, when you see professionals play, they do just that. They don't look for the shot first, especially when I play with that angle. He did the right play there. He is just unlucky to have no one on the receiving end of it. Now Calverall just kind of playing around, finding the crevices in Mount St. Joe's midfield right now. Just looking to get that ball up right now, but MSJ keeping a high press right now. Now here's Dylan Burst running to the corner. He received pressure from number 6, Dimitri Jordan, and it was just enough for it to go out of bounds, but it will stay with Calvert Hall. It's going to be a corner kick.
At first the game, Steve Welsh is getting ready to sub in for the Cardinals.
Looks like we'll see Ben Bender take this corner kick. He has a great left foot, and he'll put this one swinging in towards the goal.
Welsh is going to replace Guidi, calling back up on that right wing for Calvert Hall.
Bender drops the arm. He takes it. This one's high. Rainbows into the box, and it's headed out by Mount St. Joe. And cleared out by Nate Porter. But it finds its way back into the box. Andy Christ in a unlikely position there, playing as a sort of striker, a little out of position. But he did not have enough to get onto that ball. And now MSJ just looking to get this one out. Nate Porter tried to find Van Danielson, but it soars over his head, and Camden Irwin clears it out. Now here's Ben Bender. He's pressured by 2 Gales. Still has it. Taking his time. Does very well to get by another one. But the play for Steve Welsh isn't enough, and it just goes out of bounds. Mount St. Joe free kick, goal kick.
Looks like Van Danielson's going to come out for the Gales. Replacing him, I believe, is number 26, Anthony DePino.
Yeah, Van Danielson's had a very strong presence in Mount St. Joe's attack so far. And alongside him, Taekwon Stroud. Those two have been the head of Mount St. Joe's attack this year. And they'll be the 2 to look out for against Calvert Hall's back line. Still tainted by injuries. Bobby Wells still on limited time right now. I think Calvert Hall plans, with the 2 huge games to wrap up the season, I think Calvert Hall plans on reserving him until they really need him. Mount St. Joe's play amounts to nothing, and this will be a throw-in for Calvert Hall. Dom Corona take the throw-in.
Turn the throw in there, Hayden Lim entered the game.
Here's the Pino. He has a chance to cross this one. Uses his right foot, but it's just behind 3 MSJ midfielders and forwards. Now Calvert Hall just kind of stumbling around. Lack of communication, but Calvert Hall lucky to catch a little clip there from a Mount St. Joe midfielder. That's going to be a free kick. Ref says no. Put that one back 3 yards, and they'll take it again. Now an opportunity for Ken Oren to hit this one long. He does, in contrast to the quick ball that they played earlier. Now Bender tries to play it through, but it's intercepted. Great flick from Andy Chris there. And he finds Link on the wing. Link in the corner. He can cross this one in. He does. That's gotta be a foul. Yeah, I was just waiting for a foul there. I'm surprised he didn't call it any bit earlier there, with Luke Furries just running into the goalie there, and it didn't look like a very malicious play, but it is illegal. So Mount St. Joe will play this one out of their box. They do. Yeah, another foul from MSJ in the midfield. And Calvert Hall will take yet another free kick in the midfield. Owen plays it short this time. McComas plays it back to Cam. Cam plays on to Corona. Corona passes it. Bender lobs it over. Almost finds Luke Furries. And he'll try again. That's definitely a foul. Looked like Nate Porter there went for the ball. Luke Furries did well to poke it out. Nate Porter did not make any contact with the ball, just Luke's leg. And it'll be a foul just about 5 yards outside of the box in our right-hand corner. Hayden Lim will take this one. He asked for 10, though. And the ref will tell Miles Lamb to back up a little bit. And now Hayden ready to take it. Arms down. A bit of a backspin there on the ball. And it found the first Mount St. Joe defender. And now Taekwon Shrewd. He has options. But Dom Corona stifles that one out. Number 6, Dimitri Jordan appeals for a high kick there. The ref did not call it, though, and there will be a throw-in for Dom Corona here. He plays Hayden Lim. And that one just found its way out of bounds. And it'll be a throw-in. Dimitri Jordan to take. It's a long one.
So it doesn't affect the clock, really?
It's headed on to Anthony DePino. And Cameron Owen with an authoritative tackle there. Knocks it out of bounds towards the corner, but it will be just ahead for a throw-in instead. It's taken by Miles Lamb. Headed out by Cameron Owen, but put back in. Hayden Lim looks to save it, just not enough though.
Are you commentating?
Miles Lamb to take the throw in. Ben Bender is the first one to it though. And he'll lob this one out. Finds Luke Furries. Still with it. Just looking for something. He passes to Hayden Lim. Lim dispossessed by Miles Lamb though. Lamb plays it over. Looking for someone, but Spencer Nance was the first one to it. Nothing to come from that from James Garfink.
Great through ball there from Mike Israel, but it's going to be taken away.
Yeah, a couple new faces on the field. James Garfink, Michael Gizriel. It looks like Giz will be playing right back. Garfink, center defensive mid. Giz plays it on a Lim. Lim forwards it towards Luke Furries, but it's just not enough. Taekwon Stroud with it now. He plays it back to Dimitri Jordan. Now here's Michael Gizriel. Callahan now in the corner. She's going to go out of bounds. It pins Caverhall in their corner, though, for a throw-in. And it looks like MSJ will be keen to switch on their high press here with almost every Mount St. Joe player ahead of the midfield line. Michael Gizriel throws it in, but Miles Lamb first one to it. Outside of the foot lob there from Anthony DePino, but just over the bar. And Spencer Nines will chase this one down and take a goal kick.
Looks like Mount St. Joe's going to make another change. Casey McKenna comes off for number 2, Brian St. Martin.
Brian St. Martin, a freshman, son of the head coach, Mike St. Martin. So MSJ already using their youth. They have a very young team with 3 freshmen and 11 sophomores.
Only 4 seniors, though. Pretty young team. After about 20 minutes now, not much going on between either team after the really gunning first 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, we see like 7 minutes in the game and both teams already with shots on goal. Obviously, Luke Furries with that chance hit the post. And then another one where he just obstructed with the goalie and was called back. And also MSJ they've gotten the ball ahead into the box. We saw a couple guys. Obviously, Van Danielson. He brought the ball into the box. Dom Corona did well to stop, and as well as Clay McComas also shut that down. But both teams really just kind of slowed it down a little bit now. And both teams a little stagnant, I'd say. The style of play really changed.
As Shane Allen reports into the game for Luke Ferris, I feel like they settled down a little bit now. Everyone came right out of the gate just ready to get as much shots off as they can, and now they've slowed it down and got back to that play where they're trying to find weaknesses within the team and then exploit them.
Calvert Hall has found some success all year with the long balls, a lot of crosses in the air, and with such windy conditions today, I wonder if that will really affect it. Maybe throw off some crosses, but it is pretty windy out as fall is starting to really knock on the door.
At least it's nice and sunny out instead of pouring rain like it was for more than half these games.
That's true, but it has been warm, and that warmth is just not there today. As you see a lot of the guys on the Calvert Hall bench wearing their warm-up jackets for one of the first times of the year, really.
Now thanks, you're making a plethora of subs.
That's my word. Spencer Nattens grabs onto it. He rolls it out to Michael Gizrael. Gizrael with space, not really being pressured here. But finally, Brett Callahan gets on him, and Gizrael just has to lob this one up. But it is with Link, then Welsh, but cleared out yet again by MSJ. Ball still just bouncing around in the air. Cam will block Callahan out, and now Spencer Nattens rolls it out to Camden Owen.
Close play there, he had to keep his hands inside the goal box.
Shane heads it on to Bender. Bender dispossessed though, but does find Welsh. Welsh to Chris. Chris plays it outside the Link. Link crosses it. Just blocked out though. And MSJ will just desperately boot this one in the air. And now quickly on the counterattack, as you see 4 guys for MSJ just running up the field. And this one put into the corner. It's going to be chased, but not enough, and it'll be a goal kick. Spencer Nattens moves it over to his right-hand side. He'll boot this one up. Right about midfield, towards Steve Welsh. Looks like he was jumped over, honestly. I thought that was a foul. It's not going to be called, though. It does go out of bounds, and Calvert Hall will have a throw-in just about 30 yards from their own goal. Gizrael takes it. It's over the head of Hayden Lim. A little bit of miscommunication there. Number 24, Torrin Akins, heads it away. But now Calvert Hall with the ball back again. Hayden Lim, that one's just blocked down. But it does go out. Another throw-in. I don't have the stat sheet on me, but I really wonder how many throw-ins Calvert Hall takes per game. Because it seems like it's always getting, tossed in by Calvert Hall and then just booted right back out.
It's more a testament of the wild play from all the other teams. And Calvert Hall food, I think it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of set pieces both teams see.
Yeah, I think as you see right there, Steve Welsh did very well to check to that ball, and he had space. No one was on him. I think Calvert Hall definitely needs to improve their checks. Now James Garfield and Steve Welsh with some nice 1-2 play here. Passes it to Lim. Lim kicks it back towards Michael Gizrael, and Gizrael gives it right back to Lim. But Lim's play for Steve Welsh is deflected, and it'll go out for a Calvert Hall throw-in. Michael Gizrael take it real quick, throws it to Lim. Lim plays it back to Gizrael. Gizrael crosses it, just doesn't find any Calvert Hall players though. But as it has been all game, Calvert Hall given another opportunity off a sloppy turnover from Mount St. Joe. Cannon Irwin just dribbling a little bit laterally right now. It's going to be a corner kick for Calvert Hall. Looks like Dimitri Jordan got a foot on it, getting in front of Steve Welsh. But with that little deflection, it does go out of bounds for a corner kick, and Bender will take it again. This is Calvert Hall's second corner of the game from the same spot as their first. This time we see about 6 guys lining up in the back of the box. They all break in. Finds Shane Allen on the end, but MSJ really overloaded that side with defenders. Shane Allen plays it in. He finds Cannon Irwin, but it just goes over.
Smart move by Oren there. He just couldn't get a shot on goal. Blocked by too many defenders in the middle of the box. Weedy's going to come back on into the game for Hayden Lim. And Van Danielson will return to the game.
Goal kick taken by Mount St. Joe. They do have the ball, but Andy Christ takes that one away, and he's speeding down the left flank. Charles DePino plays it on, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be a Calvert Hall throw-in. Here's St. Martin, but Cannon Irwin gets a hold of it. He'll clear it outwards, but it gets right back to him from Andy Christ. High pressure. Here's Van Danielson just chasing around Clay McComas. McComas forced to put this one towards the line. Calvert Hall keeps it in, but then Mount St. Joe will poke it out. Steve Welsh received that one, but Mount St. Joe is right on his neck as they forced it out. Not only to force it out, but also to force Calvert Hall to kick it out. And it'll be a throw-in for Mount St. Joe. And they'll look to get it out of here right now.
Yeah, Mount St. Joe making another set of subs. Just showing they have a really deep bench for their team. And they're just willing to keep their guys as full of energy as possible. They're trying to catch Calvert Hall off guard with their extra stamina.
Gizzard does well to find Shane Allen, but Shane Allen just trying to fight for the ball. Number 24, Torrin Akins went down. Looks like he got a cramp or something in his hamstring.
Yeah, so we take it off of them. When someone goes down, we don't keep the camera on them. We go up to the scoreboard.
Ref is going to stop the clock here, and Aiken will find some assistance from the trainers. With that injury came in Mount St. Joe goal kick. They're going to play it short. Ref says no, never mind. So they'll play it again. Ref blows his whistle, which means now they can take it. Mount St. Joe will take it now. This one's booted out, but Ben Bender, the first one to touch it. Guidi heads it on up to Steve Welsh, but it just didn't find him. Now Carroll will have to reset through their back line. Michael Gisriel, spin on this one, but just floats out of bounds, and it'll be a Mount St. Joe throw in right about around the 40-yard line in football sense.
And Calvin Hall's going to bring out a few guys. Both freshmen, I believe. Will Andrus and Riley Organ are going to come out on the wings for Chris Ling and Steve Welsh. And Ryan Facetta is going to come in as striker. That was good.
A rare pairing for Will Andrus and Riley Organ. Rarely ever coming on the field together, but when they do very well. Van Danielson chasing this one down, but Clay McComas just blocks it till it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a Calverall goal kick. Spencer Nans with a high goal kick. Gets to Riley Organt. Organt plays it back to Bender. Bender dribbles it on until Gisriel takes over. And Mount St. Joe just with some very high intensive pressure right now. Not letting Calverall breathe, really paying them up against the sideline right there like that. Quick throw in from Gisriel. Did not find Riley Organt though. And it'll be a foul on Gisriel. He used his arm to jump up above the Mount St. Joe defender there. Dimitri Jordan Jr. will take this one. He's got short options, as well as he does long. He will play long. Lobs up towards, looks like Van Danielson right there. But Cameron Owen heads it out. Andrew Guidi puts a foot on it. And this one just kind of bouncing around between both teams right now. A long shot there from Casey McKenna, but not much trouble for Spencer Nattens, the senior goalkeeper for Calverall. And he'll take his time in clearing this one. Rolls it out, forces a little pressure from Van Danielson there. And the ball goes all the way to the left back to Dimitri Jordan, but it's headed out. And a sub will come on to slow down Calverall's play.
To me, Fairreese for Garfield. It's a great idea putting Fairreese at that CDM role, helping facilitate Calvert Hall's attack starting from the back line.
Definitely now with Ryan Facetta up front, don't have to worry about having to put Fairreese at the striker position. We have seen Luke play almost every position this year. He is a utility kind of guy for Calvert Hall. Gets a lot of minutes at many different positions. Cameron Owen to take this free kick for Calvert Hall. Played it towards Bender, but it just kind of went to his left, and Bender wasn't really anticipating that kind of play. Here's the freshman, Will Andrus. He'll just play it back to McComas. McComas' touch, not a very light one, and he has to scramble to get that one just out of play.
And once again, saves it and comes out and grabs the ball.
He switches fields to Michael Gisriel, who has a lot of space and a lot of time. Danielson now pressuring him. Gisriel played that one over, but it just wasn't towards any Calvert Hall players there, and it just goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in from Mount St. Joe. Jordan throws it in, but Guidi heads it back towards Mount St. Joe's goalie.
Mount St. Joe's defense playing exceptionally well right now. In the whole half so far, they had not let Calvert Hall get by the back four very much. Found a couple of shots on goal, but other than those 3 or 4 plays, it's been the entire ball in the midfield back and forth between the teams, or even down on our end if the ball's going down right now.
Yeah, when Calvert Hall does get the ball down towards Mount St. Joe's goal, they are normally contained to the wings. I haven't seen sophomore center back Dylan Chung be tested yet. I haven't seen these guys really have to go out of their way to get the ball out. You know, the ball, it gets down there, but it normally just finds its way to be recycled out of the field, or, you know, just a shot over the net. But we haven't really seen much from either team so far. A promising start, but it really amounts to nothing. It's going to be a foul on Ben Bender or something. Not really sure what that was. But Mount St. Joe will have this one. They play it quick. Jordan to Chung, and Chung back to Jordan. Calvert eventually fights to get back. Now Facetta plays on to Andrew Guidi. The counterattack started. Guidi was put to the ground there by a Mount St. Joe defender, but no call from the ref.
It's the right call there. Guidi got knocked to the ground, but he already got rid of the ball.
It's gonna,
Didn't seem much like he was going after Guidi specifically. It's unfortunate that the pass went behind the runner that he was looking for.
unlucky bounce for Andrew Guidi there. Bounced off his left foot and then hit his hand. It'll be a handball. And Mount St. Joe just playing it through their back line right now, being pressed by Ryan Facetta and Riley Organt. Mount St. Joe is doing very well to find the open man right now. Miles Lamb crosses it in, but it really didn't offer much threat. So it just bounces out of bounds off of a Mount St. Joe field player's foot. Organt pressing Lamb. Now Guidi. Guidi forced Lamb off the ball there, and Organt gets a foot to it, knocks it out of bounds. But Mount St. Joe will just start where they left off. A dangerous cross there, but it's headed out by Clay McComas. Shot. And a goal for Mount St. Joe. Zach Wellen finds the back of the net. Sloppy play from Calvert Hall there. Back line unable to really clear it out with much definition there. And it found the left foot of Zach Wellen. He puts it on the right-hand corner and right past Spencer Nattens.
It was just, honestly, that was just a little slow from Calvert Hall right there. I don't think they were expecting them to get a shot off, and they were just staying back, expecting the ball to get ricocheted out of bounds or for it to be an easy roll to Nattens. It was just unfortunate for Calvert Hall's defense to be 1-0 Mount St. Joe now going into halftime almost.
It was the first shot on goal for Mount St. Joe, too. It's very unlucky. Just 3 minutes left, and Mount St. Joe will have a lead, what looks like to be a lead going to halftime. But Andrew Guidi maybe with the chance to change that there.
They call a foul there, but it looked like the ref was trying to play advantage originally.
Ref says back it up a couple yards, and Guidi will back it up a couple yards. Seven Calvert Hall players in the box. It's a good cross from Guidi. But Mount St. Joe will be sure to knock this one out. It'll be a throw-in for Calvert Hall, though. Guidi, the man who took the free kick, will also take the throw-in. Plays it through, but it's deflected out. Organt goes quick to Ben Bender. Great pressure there from Jordan as Bender's forced to knock it off his foot and goes out. Yeah, another Calvert Hall throw-in. An attempted clear there from Mount St. Joe, but it's just blocked. And yet again, another throw-in, the third one from the same spot in the last minute for Calvert Hall.
Could have been a free kick right outside the box there for Calvert Hall. Looks like two Mount St. Joe players back there got mixed up with Riley Organt. Ref let it play on, went out of bounds, but could have been a foul call for a free kick out there.
It's getting a little scrappy out there. Andrew Guidi getting mixed up with number 8, Alex Krabs.
Nat's going to let that one roll back to him.
Just a minute 30 left now. I think Calvert Hall really needs to get one here. I don't expect them to. It's a very tough task to just in such a condensed amount of time.
The stop play is, I believe, some sort of brace or marker fell off Spencer Natton's there, so he didn't let it go out of bounds and just restart the game with a punt.
A minute left now.
Calvert trying to see if they can net a string of passes together to get a shot off for halftime. Instead it finds Guidi. It's a little too much there, so you go to the goalkeeper.
Mount St. Joe will take his time. Just boot this one up. The Gales looking to go into halftime with a 1-0 lead, but Taekwon Shrew with the chance to further that. It just goes out of bounds, though, and the clock will run out here. Halftime, not the best start for either team, and Mount St. Joe fortunate to find themselves in a 1-0 lead right now off the goal of Zach Wellen, the junior for Mount St. Joe. It's 1-0 now, and Calvert Hall really needs to work themselves out of this one. This is what coaches really fear going into a season. These are the kind of games you want to avoid at most.
I mean, we've been saying the same thing all season. Every game's been close for Calvert Hall. You know it's going to be a 1-goal, maybe 2-goal at the end of the game kind of game, even maybe overtime. Calvert Hall is still in this game. It's a wide-open game here. The 1 goal was just unlucky for Calvert Hall. They had a little bit of, I feel like, a little lapse in the defense, just playing a little slow, not expecting anything big to come from their plays. But they need to find a way in the second half to bring up the energy a little bit.
Yeah, I think we've seen Calvert Hall play like this all year against teams beneath them in the standings. We saw them play like this, just like this against Spalding. But sometimes when you flirt with fire too much like this, you know, you're going to get burnt a little bit. And they're actually getting burnt here from Mount St. Joe. The first team to score on them like this in the first half, even with Calvert Hall dominating possession, you know.
I mean, absolutely. I think possession in the second half here is going to be key for Calvert Hall anyway, because the way they've been playing, they've been trying to hold possession, but they haven't got anything in the front third. Holding possession is one thing, but holding possession in their third of the field and getting shots off from it, getting chances created, that's what needs to happen. You can't just hold the ball and hold it in the center of the field for 40 minutes. You have to take that possession and find a way to get past the back line.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little more creativity on the set pieces, too. Like we said earlier, so many throw-ins for Calvert Hall. We had, 3 straight throw-ins from the same spot in their front third in like the last 2 minutes there. I want to see Dom Cronin get on those throws. I've seen his arm. He is a pretty big one, and he can launch that into the box. I think a little more creativity there. And then the corner kicks, too. They get lobbed in, but, next thing you know, it hits the head of a Calvert Hall player, and then it just gets cleared out.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. So we got about 8 minutes left until the second half starts. We'll be back soon.
all right, see ya. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the second half of this game. Calverall trailing 1-0 off the goal of Zach Wellen about 37 minutes into this game. Unlucky for Calverall, really. But they'll look to bounce back here. Coach Zincan firing them up during halftime, telling them, look, this is your last home MIAA game. After this, it's really, it's the real world. You got to take advantage of this opportunity here for a win, and don't let this home field advantage slip.
Absolutely. We already had problems with it over the last couple weeks with the McDonough game in extra time and the Loyola game. But a win here against Mount St. Joe would win them both a home and away game here, which would get them an extra bump in the record.
It's going to be a Calverall throw-in. Andy Christ will take. Finds Dylan Burrs. Burrs flicks it on, but no one was there. Bender blocks the clearance, though. That'll be a goal kick for Mount St. Joe. Mount St. Joe just looking to get the ball out here. Here's Danielson. Plays it back to Lamb. Was cleared out by Cannon Owen. It'll be a throw-in for Mount St. Joe. Jordan drops it back. Now here's Chung. Chung has Turner. He plays him. Turner now back to Chung. Here's Steve Welsh. Now Dom Corona. The ball just pinned against the sideline right now. Calverall looking to get something going. Bender plays it back to Luke Ferris. And now James Garfink. Garfink again. Chips it up towards Andy Christ. But Chris falls and is unable to get the ball there. Quick shout out to Jake Bleacher Jr. Our thoughts are with him today as he is undergoing surgery for his torn ACL. We wish him a speedy recovery, and we'd love to see him back in the booth soon.
Absolutely did a great job with you on Monday of the game.
Shot from Mount St. Joe there. Van Danielson, a curler off his left foot. That one went out of bounds. The referee's going to rule that Spencer Nattens tipped it, so we'll give Spencer Nattens that save there. A great one, as that was a Harry Kane-esque kind of goal or shot right there.
Harry Kane-esque, of course, Brady.
Yeah. Recall a game against Arsenal back in 2015. Reminded me just of that shot.
You're too big of an Arsenal fan, Brady.
Goal kick. Don't label me with that, please. Here's Taekwon Strud. Takes sort of a cross shot hybrid there, and it just bounces Spencer Nattens. Nattens will roll this one out to Cameron Oren. He's loved rolling it out all season, really. It's a safer play, really.
Good interception from Mount St. Joe. Again, still strong defense from the Gales, not letting Calvert Hall get an inch of room now, playing even better than they were in the first half.
Chrisling back to Clay McComas, and McComas boots this one up towards Dylan Burrs. Burrs gets in the air, gets ahead to it. He knocked it out, but it must have taken a deflection off of Mount St. Joe because it'll be a throw-in. They take it quickly. Burrs can cross this one in. He does. Mount St. Joe to it, though, and this one's going out.
Someone's got to be there for the second ball there. It's wide open right over the top of the 18.
I think our midfielders are playing very deep right now. I'd like to see them be up there because you do have that front line of guys who are ready for that cross, but the cross is behind them because that front line of guys, they were marked well. So you need that second wave of guys to come in. That's really where you ask the center midfielders to help out on the attack. Is now Miles Lamb, just a little bit too heavy of a touch, and it's cleared out by James Garfink. Throw in from Jordan. Finds Danielson. Danielson can cross it. Takes a couple deflections. That want to be a corner kick for Mount St. Joe. Their second of the game. Here it comes. It's a short ball towards Miles Lamb. Miles with a dummy run. But Ben Bender was the next one to it. Burris plays on Camden Oren. Oren with a lot of speed ahead. But he is stopped. Just a Mount St. Joe defender poked his leg out. Knocked out of bounds enough to slow down Calvert Hall and let Mount St. Joe regroup. It's a throw in from Dom Corona though. Towards Steve Welsh. It's going to be a foul, Mount St. Joe. Not sure what the ref saw there, but I'm sure that the Calvert Hall faithful will be happy to take it. Cross in from Welsh. Now here's Christ.
Great run on the outside there from Chris, ready to get the ball across the field.
It's going to be a throw in for Calvert Hall. Long one from Andy. Headed out by Mount St. Joe. And to the pleasing of Calvert Hall fans, it will be a corner kick. Another chance, as we said during halftime, for Calvert Hall to be a little more creative on set pieces. We'll see this one come in from Luke Furries, who has a very strong foot. I think we'll see him laser this one in. Less of a lob. Calvert Hall lining up in that back corner of the box. They drop in. It's high on the back post. It's going to be a goal kick for Mount St. Joe as a couple of substitutions are now coming on for them. It's like number 14.
Brett Callahan.
Brett Callahan, yes, and number 8, I believe, Alex Krabs. Burris keeps it in. Calvert Hall double teaming Miles Lamb there. Goes out of bounds and it'll be a Calvert Hall throw in. Mount St. Joe stalls. Dom Corona will toss this one in. Here's Luke Furries. Kicks it square to James Garfink. Garfink back to Clay McComas. McComas with a high lob. Burris heads it on towards Bender. Good piece of play there. Now Mount St. Joe will have to clear.
Great connection of passes between the Calvert Hall midfielders.
Just still looking for that final pass to create a shot like we saw from Zach Whalen earlier.
Good setup there from Link. Burris going to get there.
Burris flying through. The ball hits off his shin. Number 23, Corey Turner, the senior, with a little bit of loose legs there. Falls pretty easily and gets the foul for Mount St. Joe. This will be a Mount St. Joe's goal kick. Or free kick, rather. Not taken well, though, as MSJ has to scramble to get this one out. Calvert Hall back with possession now. Here's Ben Bender. Sun shining over the attacking third for Calvert Hall right now, as they're looking for A little bit of action.
I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. But thank you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Here's Dom Corona. That long throw of his. Towards Bender. Bender just kind of nudged out of the way, though. Mount St. Joe breaking away. Here's Callahan.
That ball's got to be cleared immediately. The ball can't just be left in the middle of the field after the slide.
Owen England dispossessed by Andy Christ, and now Christ pinned up against the sideline. Trying to get past England. Just not enough, though. A little bit off the foot of Dylan Burst, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Mount St. Joe. Corey Turner to take. Gets it back to Dylan Chung. Chung clears it out, but it just gets back to the Calverall back line. McComas looking to recycle. Now here's James Garfink. McComas towards the link, but just not enough, and Calverall lucky to regain possession. McComas again. This time he does find Bender. Bender mid-pass is fouled. Ref played advantage, but that advantage expired before Mount St. Joe kicked it out for a throw-in. Calverall will stay on the far end. Goes out of bounds, or a foul rather, on Mount St. Joe. I think these refs have been a little bit foul happy today. I think a lot of these 50-50 kind of calls have gone towards the foul.
I actually see a little bit of the contrary. I mean, they're calling fouls when it's repeated on the play, but I feel like these first plays, like right there with Bender getting knocked to the ground, he let that one go and waited until
it was more of an advantage, but obviously I think that was definitely a foul. I think the ref, there's a shot off the head of Ben Bender, just slides right over the bar. Unfortunate there. Great opportunity, great cross there from, is that Steve Welsh or no, Luke Furries. But I think the refs have seen a little bit of contact and they've just gone straight to the foul.
Great play there from Calvert Hall, looking for the head ball.
That's that set piece that we're looking for.
That's the kind of ball you got to head as hard as you can straight down to the ground to get by the goalkeeper.
I think if that theme continues, we might see an appearance from Bobby Wells soon. Bobby told me when he came in against Gilman, Coach Rich just told him, get in there and get your head on the ball. Bobby is the tallest guy on our team, and he's very useful on those set pieces.
Just feels normal to have him back out there. For coming back last week. I hope he gets some time in the game and gets to show his skills.
It's called soccer!
There's that foul happy kind of style there from the ref right there. And Mount St. Joe with a free kick now. Calverall parents not happy with that call, but Mount St. Joe will just sort of kick this one around the back line. We do have to remember there are 27 minutes left, and Mount St. Joe does have a 1-0 lead. The same kind of lead that Calverall was a little bit comfortable with against Gilman. He started to sit back and kind of just settle for that 1-0 lead. So we got to be aware of that for Mount St. Joe, a team beneath Calverall, a team that's fighting for that 6th seed, just looking for a playoff spot right now, and we need to be aware that they might be inclined to, just as we did against Gilman, and sit back and park the bus, as they say. Now Riley Organt, the freshman, in.
Came on for Dylan Burris, I believe.
Oh, Linker.
Here's Chris Link. The outside of his foot, he pokes it towards Organt and Bender, but just gets knocked back out. James Garfink will play back to McComas. McComas over to Camden Oren. Camden Oren has space and time, but that doesn't mean he'll take it slow. Chips it over towards Luke Furries. Chris Link was there at the end of the play, but could not get a foot on it. Mount St. Joe goalkeeper was out there as quick as possible, gets a hand on it. He'll hold it as Mount St. Joe just kind of gets upfield.
Another opportunity for Calvert Hall to finish, but just not being able to get that shot. Not even on target, just not being able to get that shot off in the first place.
It's still coming there, you know. When you're chopping down a tree, you won't knock it down on the first swing. So I think Calverall really needs to just keep hacking at that tree right now.
I don't know, but I like it.
Here's Dom Corona on the wing in the corner. He plays a cross, not the best cross, but it will be a foul on Mount St. Joe in the corner. Practically a corner kick, but just a little bit further up. Luke Furries will take, and Calvert will line up in the box around the 8-yard line, penalty spot, looking for another header as we saw in that last one. Five Calvert players packed into the box, a couple on the 18 line for maybe a possible short ball. That's their alternative option. Dom Corona and Luke Furries up top. They can rip a shot if Bender is inclined to play it to him. He does play it low. Furries misses the flick. He hits it, and it's saved. Great play from Calvert there, again on the set piece. Unlucky for Luke to miss the little flick, but then getting the shot. It was just unlucky that Mount St. Joe had that front post covered. But it's encouraging for Carroll as there's a little bit of a confusion between the rest. But that definitely has to be a corner.
That was absolutely a really great play there from Calvert Hall. Corner hit with a bullet down the line here. But great touch by Ferris to get the ball back. But that second touch should have been a shot right away. The guy who came across the middle by the 18-yard box had a great chance to just turn and smash the ball with his left foot in the corner. That's got to be completed.
Bender to take. Hit the goal. No, it just hit the crossbar just a little bit too tight on that attempt. And I'll go out of bounds for a goal kick. No attempt from Cabral inside the box there. A little bit frustrating if you're a set piece enthusiast. Goal kick doesn't find any Mount St. Joe's players. Here's Andy Christ. Pressed by Taekwon Stroud. Now Cameron Armin. Feeling a little bit of pressure off of Mount St. Joe's attacking line here. Number 10, Alec Carey, just trailing him. Now Andy Christ back with it on our side. Back to Clay, a little bit of triangle play here from Cabral, just looking for something. 23 minutes left. Still a goal down. Cabral in the away match last month, they did find themselves with a 1-0 lead and then let that slip late in the game, forced an overtime. That was Cabral's sole overtime win, though, off the goal of Sean Barwick. That's got to be a handball there, too. Not going to call it. It's going to be a throw-in from Mount St. Joe.
Center referee was at an angle where he could not even see the Mount St. Joe player's hand, so understandable.
I think right after I said that, I kind of realized, his arm was down too. It could be deemed as a natural position. So it's whatever. Play moves on. Riley Organt and Chris Link pressing Taekwon Stroud. Throw in from Corey Turner. Towards number 10, Alec Carey. Throw in from Carey again. Or Turner, rather. DePino had it and then lost it. Andy Chris will take the throw in. Puts it long towards Bender. Bender was double teamed. Now here's Riley Organt. Organt was fouled. Be a free kick for Calvert Hall. We'll see if they decide to take it quick here.
Strength by Oregon, just getting right back up and back into the play.
He knows how to draw a foul pretty well. I've talked to him. He knows when it's coming and he knows how to go down for it.
Hopefully you were the one taking him down.
Teach them while they're young, Here's Clay McComas. For those who don't know, Riley Organt is my brother. Just so you don't think that I was tackling him at a young age for no reason. Yeah. Here's Clay McComas. Again. Just a long clearance. Spencer Nattens finds himself outside the box. Here's Ben Bender. Orient flicks it on. Foul from Camden, or foul on Camden Owen. He'll take this free kick from about the midfield line. Ref says back it up 3 yards, and he'll back it up 3 yards. Owen, long ball, straight to the keeper. That'll be a routine clearance for Mount St. Joe. 20 minutes left now. Calverall still just fighting for something here. A team that has really not found much success in overtime might be starting to look for overtime here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just trying to find 1 or 2 chances that can lead to a goal. But again, we still need to bring the energy up here a little bit to find that opportunity. It's times like getting the guys like Facetta out here who are just ready to run by their entire back line and look for a long ball, because right now we're trying to pass around and we're not getting much around their defense. They're staying strong, they're staying like a wall. I really feel like Calvin needs to find a way to get over the back line as
Chance there
the ball
from
goes out.
number 26, Anthony DePino, but it just goes wide. A little bit lucky there from Calverall. Actually, there's an offsides call, so that was wiped out, but there were 2 Mount St. Joe forwards and just 1 defender. And that's the kind of marketing nightmare that you don't want to see from Calverall. Farouz plays it safe back to Cam Owen. Cam's clearance is blocked, though, by number 10, Alec Carey. Goes out of bounds. Mount St. Joe throw in. As both teams will make substitutions here. Will Andrus and Michael Gizero coming on, replacing Dom Corona and Steve Welsh. Looks like it'll be a foul right near the corner. Mount St. Joe pressing, looking for a second goal here. In contrast to my prediction that they'd be sitting back trying to hold that 1-0 lead, they're actually pressing here. A little bit of pressure. It's a dangerous one. It's just bouncing around right now. Thankfully, cleared up by James Garfink. And it finds the 1 Calverall player, Riley Organt, upfield. Riley tried to play it back to James Garfink. That one was just pushed out. That'll be a Mount St. Joe throw-in. Turner throwing in. Just sort of looking for a little bit of possession here, both teams. Now here's Stroud. Goal kick, or corner kick rather. Just cleared out. And Stroud will whip another one in, this time from a much different angle.
That ball's got to be out by midfield on a clear like that. But what's happening now? They're going to get a shot off on goal.
Both teams just tossing their feet around. That one goes in.
As what comments of not being able to clear the ball. Good chance the Calvin Hall just right to the defender. Good chance just head it out or clear it out of the goal box. The ball goes 10 to 20 feet up in the air. Straight back down into 4 or 5 different players for a 50-50 ball that anybody can win.
Taekwon Stroud just hit that one in. It hit the post, and then deflection from, or rebound, I believe, from number 30, Riley Burge, freshman. And now Cal really under some pressure with 16 minutes left, and they're 2 goals down. So what seemed to be a challenge scoring 1 goal for Cal now has become even bigger challenge scoring 2 goals. Gizero launches that one out. Here's Bender. Now Pat Tejada. First time seeing him in the game since a couple games ago, actually. Clay McComas first one to that, though. It's headed out by Corey Turner. Andy Christ. Luke Faris. Couple touches in the air. Now here's Riley Burge. Now Riley Organt. Fighting off 2 defenders. Chung knocks that one out. It's going to be a throw-in for Calvert Hall. Todd will take the throw-in. It's towards Faris. Faris uses his chest. Settles it. Plays it back to Andy Christ. Christ with the cross. Just not enough bend on it. And it's over the head of Will Andrus. Not exactly the tallest guy on the team. We have Mount St. Joe throw on the sideline of the benches. Just under 15 minutes now. Cabral has some deep trouble. Down 2. As we said, this game has huge implications for home field advantage. This will put them level with Curley, who they play next week. Cabral also playing McDonough, the 3rd ranked team, likely to take the 2nd rank or 3rd rank in the league. So they are a top soccer powerhouse in the MIAA. So really it doesn't get any easier than this, or from this. Nothing from that Calvert attack. Now the goalie will just take his time to clear this one up. Mount St. Joe was in no rush when they were up 1. Of course, they won't be in any more rush now that they're up 2. So they're going to take this time. Will Andrus just trying to climb his way around the defender right there. That'll be a foul. Dimitri Jordan, the junior captain, to take. It's a high one. Doesn't find any Mount St. Joe players, though. And Andy Chris just scrambling to get this one out. And will go out of bounds. Both players finding the track there. There'll be a throw in here for Corey Turner. Cannon Owen now seeing himself up the field, really looking for something. Here's Ben Bender. Plays the man first, not the ball. But Chung is dispossessed by Pat Tejada.
Great slide right there. To just get the ball, but not even touch the man.
Ben Bender just looking for some opening. Chung blocks it. A center back finding himself up the field. Now Andy Christ. Plays it to Garfink. Garfink back to Christ. Now Tejada. And Garfink. Great move from Furries there. And Oregon draws the foul. He got sandwiched. Quick play from Tejada. But it's cleared out by Mount St. Joe, and it'll be yet another throw in for Calvert Hall. Looks like Riley Oregon and Luke Furries will be replaced here by Andrew Guidi and Dylan Burris.
Notice now they brought in a few minutes ago before the goal. Michael Gisriel came in, and Cam Oren can push up to center attacking mid striker position. Stop the clock.
Dylan Burst on the end of that one, but it's just wide. And that's a pretty solid summary of Calvert Hall's luck on the attack today.
Yeah, that was a great chance for a head ball. Not a connection with it, just a little bit off target to the left. Had the right idea though.
The Mount St. Joe goalie with a much needed water break there. Just taking his time. He'll adjust the ball again. Take 5 steps back. And then boot this one. But it goes straight to Pat Tejada. Now Tejada heads it on towards Guidi. And this one's cleared out into the stadium by Corey Turner.
Great rebound from Stadium. Great touch.
McComas with a big foot up towards Cannon Oren. Oren now playing striker. We see Clay McComas and Michael Gisriel playing center back now. Actually, we see Gisriel on the wing, just one center back, kind of a 3 at the back style right now. It's Calvert Hall just desperate to attack here.
They got less than 10 minutes left. They have to find something. Great chance there for Bender.
Shot from Bender.
Dylan Burke is wide open on the left side of the field that entire time. It's a nice shot by Calvert Hall, but they could have used him and just had a one-on-one shot with the keeper.
Well, I think with the ball just being kind of knocked around in the box like that, like a little frenzy, didn't really have the time to get that one in. But here's Bender's cross. It goes to the first Mount St. Joe's defender. It gets knocked out. Bender with another cross. Shot from Will Andrus. Wide and high. 8 minutes left. Calvert Hall down by 2. Here's Danielson. It's knocked out for a throw-in from Mount St. Joe. Number 1, the freshman Andre Israel will be replaced here. Looks by number 2, Brian St. Martin. Freshman for freshman action. As Mount St. Joe starting to get in the rotation, trying to kill this clock out. Pat Tejada matches Corey Turner's high challenge and knocks it out. It'll be another Mount St. Joe throw-in. And I'm sure Mount St. Joe will take their time on this one as well. Turner with a cross. Luke Furries using his pace to get that one out. It'll be a throw-in for Calvert Hall. And now maybe an opportunity with 6 minutes 45 seconds left for Calvert Hall to find something. It starts with 1 goal. So I think that's what they're really looking for right now. Header from Garfink. Trapped by McComas. Christ plays to Garfink. Garfink almost finds Steve Welsh, but just not enough, and Mount St. Joe on the counterattack here. Here's St. Martin. He has options, but he also has time. Stroud plays a long one, takes one bounce, falls into the hands of Spencer Nattens.
You can see Mount St. Joe really staying back now. The entire back line is held behind the midfield line, which is much farther back than they usually have been when they're trying to attack. And they only keep 1 or 2 guys up top against Calvert Hall's defense.
They're very packed together, too. I've noticed that Mount St. Joe maybe has a diagnosis that as long as they keep Calvert Hall out of the middle, then they don't really have to worry about the attack as much. So those 4 defensemen just really packed together in that middle of the field. Punched out by the keeper. McComas, not the best pass there. He gives that away. Danielson now dribbling up, but a great tackle from James Garfink. Now Garfink plays it outside to Andy Christ. Christ pulls this one back. Plays it to Garfink. Garfink with a curling cross to Guidi. Back to Guidi. Guidi with a cross. It's cleared out immediately by Mount St. Joe. Someone will bounce out of bounds off of Steve Welsh. It'll be a throw-in for Mount St. Joe. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left.
Taha's ready for a pass down the middle. Burst is going to see it.
Burst with a second opportunity here, maybe. He's going to let it bounce out of bounds for a corner kick, though. He'll go quick. Left foot is low. And it just goes straight to Stroud. Stroud clears it out. It dies on the turf immediately. And Clay McComas has to rush himself to get this one upfield. Crossed in. Doesn't find anyone. Long punt.
We're just under 4 minutes left now. Still 2-0 Gilman. Calvert Hall's got a lot of work to do if they want to come back and try to tie this game before the end.
Spencer Nattens gets all the way up to midfield here. It's Calvert Hall on an all-out attack. Arwen misses the header and just finds its way towards the outside of the field. Out of bounds, Mount St. Joe throw in. Long throw from the Gales. There'll be a foul on Michael Gisreel. Under 3 minutes. Calvert Hall trailing by 2. Really just in a desperation mode now. Stroud with the ball in the corner. He is fouled by Andrew Guidi.
So another good chance for Mount St. Joe to put the game away. They're not going to bring much of their team up, though.
Even without scoring, they might just put the game away here as they hold the ball in the corner. Knock it out of bounds. It's going to be a corner kick for Mount St. Joe. 2 minutes left now. Calvert Hall trails by 2. Mount St. Joe will do the same. Ref has to stop the clock. They're just going to figure something out here. I don't know what exactly is going on. Looks like they'll retake the corner kick.
MSJ just trying to keep that ball in the corner.
Cavall clears, but since they were so far back, no one is up front to get a hold of it. Now here's Tejada with a chance.
Good settle by Bender.
Here's Bender.
Beautiful. A handball on Bender for just falling down and falling over the ball. But that was a lot like a trip.
I think so too, but I'm not sure. I can see where the ref is coming from there. He did go down pretty late, but I don't think, just based off of logic, I don't think a player would dive when down by 2 and a minute left, you know.
Not that far,
It's
not
not-
that far out, maybe in the box.
It's not in their best interest right there. Mount St. Joe just looking to put this one away. 50 seconds left. Here, just knocked out of bounds. Throw in for Coverhall. Guidi in the corner. It's going to be a goal kick. And surely Mount St. Joe will see this one out.
It's another unfortunate home loss for Calvert Hall. It's been really a challenge for them this year.
With this loss, it does set in a little bit of uncertainty with that home playoff game. And alongside that, if we do not get a home playoff game, this will be the last stream of the year. So we're really hoping that for soccer. So we're really hoping that Carroll can pull this one out. But they fall to Mount St. Joe today, 2-0. Not very convincing.
Just didn't feel like they had the energy out there to play. I don't know what it was. I feel like they can find something better. They have something they can find. I don't know. I don't know how to say it correctly, but it feels like they could use a little more energy out there on the field.
Yeah, it was not very. I mean, there just wasn't much happening. You know, you had the first 7 minutes that were a little bit encouraging for Cavall, but then after that, just nothing really happened. No real like gasping moments, like oh my gosh, we're so close.
Even both goals for Gilman were more on
MSJ.
Sorry, excuse me. Now St. Joe. Were more on luck. The shot from outside the 18-yard box there. I think it was caught the defense off guard, and then the deflection off of Nattens off the save. It's unfortunate for Calvert Hall.
Yeah, not really, not a deserved win for Calvert Hall. They definitely didn't play like they won, but I feel like they didn't play like they lost either. I feel like it was just a indifferent kind of game. I feel like both teams. I don't think Mount St. Joe will be too pleased with this performance. I think they'll be pleased with the result, but the performance, both teams didn't really look that good out there today.
I feel like Calvert Hall's going to have a good chance to bounce back tomorrow against Delaney. Again, we will not be streaming that game, but it'll be senior night for all the seniors, so come out and enjoy the game. We're playing Delaney High School tomorrow, so.
Yeah, and if Calvert Hall is unable to secure that home spot, we would like to thank all the soccer parents and fans for just tuning in this season and dealing with our voices. So, thank you guys so much.
Colds we've gone through to try to bring it to you guys.
We're gonna sign out. Calvert Hall with a 2-0 loss to Mount St. Joe. They'll be back out tomorrow at 4:30 against Delaney.
3:45.
3:45. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you later.